Welcome back to another episode of Trucking 101 with Darren Thomas. I'm Darren Thomas, and I want to talk about, for your new drivers, harsh weather conditions. Now, when you're driving down the road and if the weather gets so bad that you have to drop your speed down, and you need to drop your speed down below 40 miles an hour, okay? Be it wind, rain, snow, ice, whatever it is, park it. Find the closest safe haven you can get to and park the truck. You can reschedule the load, but you can't reschedule your life. I'm sure there's a lot of people in your life that want you alive and not to be dead because you're trying to make your appointment on time. Every major carrier understands this. You send a running late message, whatever that happens to be. You make your phone call and say, hey, it's snowing. There's ice on the road. I don't feel comfortable driving. And if that dispatcher tells you to go, park the truck anyways, call another truck driving company, and go work for them. Any truck driving company that puts your life at risk for the sake of the load isn't worth doing business with. It's not worth working for, no matter how much they're paying you. Period. End of story. Now, there is a couple of things you can do when you're driving in weather. For example, when it's windy. When the wind's blowing, okay, and let's say the wind's blowing from the left, right, and it's pushing your truck to the right, okay, what you're going to want to do, yes, you want to slow down, but you also want to be a little bit left of your lane. You want to be over the lines, but you want to be closer to the left side of your lane, because when that wind picks up, it's going to push your truck. If you fight it, if you try to fight the wind, and you're creating a hazard because it's pushing more pressure on that trailer. That trailer's acting like a sail. You have a higher risk of rolling that trailer over. And when the trailer rolls over, it takes your truck with it. Okay? So what you're going to want to do, like I said, you want to get to the left side of your lane. You'll split from the left, going from left to right. Get to the left side of your lane. Allow it to push you a little bit. And then when the wind stops gusting and stops pushing you, you come back. Same thing goes to the other side. If it's blowing from the right side, you get to the right side of your lane, let it push you. In this case, since you're in the right lane, you want to keep your eye on the traffic on the left. This way, if it pushes you, you know if you have room to go ahead and get into the left lane, let it push in the left lane, or if you need to fight it a little bit more to keep you from going to the other lane, because that's also another hazard you have to be aware of. So that's two things right there. That also holds true when rain's blowing really hard and it's blowing sideways. The other thing is when you're in the snow, in the ice, also in the rain, tearing your engine brake off. If you hit a water puddle or a patch of ice, and the engine brake is on and it's engaging, you will put that truck sideways. That trailer will come around and you'll be like, hey, there goes my trailer. That's the name of the company I used to work for. It's funny, but it's true. There is no exception to be riding in heavy rain, on snow, on ice, on sleet, and bad weather with that engine brake on, because it's going to get you or somebody killed. And we don't want that. That's a bad thing. The other thing is reason why when heavy snow and you got a lot of ice and sleet on the road and you're dipping down to 30, 35 miles an hour, past that 40 mile an hour mark, what you're going to encounter is some jack-o'-lantern trying to pass you with an empty trailer. Okay, and when you have all that snow and ice with an empty trailer, it's going to be fishtailing. Okay, and I learned this from experience. What happened to me was a student was driving. He didn't speak any English, so when I told him, hey, when we come up the snow, when it starts snowing, it's going to be bad, find the nearest truck stop or rest area, and we're going to stop for the night. Well, he didn't understand what I was talking about, and he continued to drive. And when he continued to drive, another truck came by, and it was empty. He was doing like 50, passing us when we're doing like, I think we're doing about 25 at the time. And that trailer fishtailed and hit my truck. Fortunately, it only hit the mirror of my truck, smashing it forward, doing $1,000 worth of damage. It was like $985 for parts and labor to replace that mirror. Fortunately, at that time, I was still a company driver. I didn't have that expense, right? So, like I said, when the weather gets bad, slow down and stop. It's not worth it. If you have to put chains on to get through a situation to find a place to park, do that. That's fine. But if you have to put chains on to make your delivery, you shouldn't be driving. If you have to put chains on to continue to drive, then you shouldn't be driving. It's way too dangerous. Park it. Find a safe place and park that truck, because it's not worth it. Now, here's another hint for you. If you're driving down the road in the wintertime and your windshield is freezing up on the outside, you get ice buildup in your windshield wiper blades. What that's telling me is that your temperature inside the cab or the temperature on the blower that you're blowing on to the windshield is set too high. And what's happening, because trucks have huge windshields, okay? Huge windshields. So what's happening is down the bottom of the windshield, it's hotter because that's what the air is blowing on, right? And the top of the windshield is cooler. So what happens is, as that wind is blowing on there, it's hitting up the bottom, the wiper comes down, and as it goes back up, it's grabbing all that ice and snow and starting to melt. But when it gets to the top, it's no longer melting, it's freezing. It's kind of like on an ice rink. They use hot water, right? To smooth out the ice, because they lay down the hot water and the ice freezes and becomes very smooth. Same type of things happen to your windshield. So what you need to do is find a safe place to pull over, preferably not on the side of the expressway, okay? Because, that's going to get you killed. And you're going to knock the ice off, and then you're going to turn the temperature down. You might need to put on a sweatshirt or a jacket, a hat, and some ear buffs. Get that temperature down. Because the ability to see is more important than being warm. Okay? So there's that. Now, as far as what you can do to help increase the performance of your windshield wiper fluid, okay? One thing you can do is you can buy like 90% or higher of rubbing alcohol, and you can put that in the reservoir. That's going to increase the performance of that wiper fluid, and it's less likely to get frozen. Some people say that you can use a quarter cup or so of radiator fluid if needed. Problem with that is if you use too much, you will cause streaking. Okay, so I wouldn't do that unless it's in a pinch and is absolutely necessary and you're desperate. Otherwise I wouldn't do it. Just to let you know, if you didn't know, that windshield wiper fluid, winter grade, is flammable. It will catch fire because it has alcohol in it. Okay, the same kind of alcohol that's in your wiper fluid is also in your radiator fluid. It's the same stuff. Now the radiator fluid has other stuff in it, but you don't want to use it as wiper fluid because it will smear if you have too much in there. Okay. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, your Glad hands. Okay. What you're going to want to do is, in the wintertime, is take a little bit of rubbing alcohol, stick it inside the Glad hands, put the Glad hands on, and when you release the brakes, the alcohol will get rid of any icing within the lines. If there's any water in the lines, that rubbing alcohol is going to evaporate it. It's going to get rid of it. It's like magic. Okay. Let's see here. I think that's all that I have to say about this subject. Just remember, your life isn't worth the load. Park the truck. Get some sleep. Try again in 10 hours. God bless. This is Darren Thomas, and you guys have a fantastic, wonderful day. Bye.